Eli, from your point of view, you sort of raised an interesting point when we caught up on this, and obviously coming from the outside of the sector into social housing more recently, you mentioned around sort of validating data sources externally. Would you just build upon that a little bit for us?
So I guess in my short stint at the moment within the housing space, when I've talked to other housing associations, when we sort of kick off any research or we're trying to build any models or trying to be proactive by sort of building something that predicts or some sort of prescriptive analysis we're trying to do. In most cases, people are quite insular. They're looking at the data that they've got within that space. The quality of your model, the quality of insights you're going to get out of a model are heavily going to be dependent on the data that you're putting into it. And most of the models that we're kind of trying to double with here, especially within the AI space, they're quite data hungry. So the better quality data, or even the more data you plug into those models, the better output you get at the back of it. Not being able to do that, normally you kind of run the risk of a couple of things. So one of those is you can train then a model to produce some insights for you, but because you're quite insular in the way you're treating that data, there's risk of overfitting. In most cases, except maybe as some of the bigger housing associations, you might not necessarily even have enough data points to sort of let's say quality assure your model at the back of it, or even test the predictive power of it. So there's that risk of overfitting. But sometimes as well, so you can do much to produce a model and it'll give you a statistic and tell you, where you should look at. But what's key in terms of making this land in the business is sort of building that narrative, actually the story under the headlines. What's driving those changes you're seeing within the data? This is where sort of using external data is going to be good at building that narrative. So it'll help us have a better understanding of some of the trends we're seeing maybe in an individual housing association point of view is being driven by sort of a wider macroeconomic trends. So using external data will help us to sort of look at that side of things as well. And then taking advantage of open data that's out there to actually cross-validate some of the data we hold internally. So there's some things like, let's say, addresses, for example, some generic data sets we can actually use data that's publicly available out there to cross-validate and make sure that we've got an accurate record of what we have. The bottom line is you want to create that gold standard data set, and this is going to sort of widely improve the kind of insights you're going to get out of your models at the back of this.